I'm a photographer and I had been starting my career with exhibiting my photography in galleries. And at a certain point, I realized that there's only a certain kind of person that walks into an art gallery. Of course, this was 30 years ago, and it was difficult to access audience. And so, to create new audience for photography, it really felt like we need to bring public art and bring photography to public spaces. We were big fans of the Delhi Photo Festival, which is our predecessor, and we went often to the festival in Delhi. And we really felt, why doesn't Chennai have anything like this? Why is something like in Chennai so disconnected? Why is there no scene here? And so with all of that in mind, we came up, and when I say we, it was a bunch of friends of photographers. The director of the Goethe Institute at that time was a gentleman called Helmut Schuppert. I went to meet him. I had an idea that let's do a festival of photography, and he said, yeah, great idea, let's do it. And that was 2015, and then the rest is history. We just started. For me, public space was the most important factor. So before CPB, the Chennai Photo Biennale, I was working as the curator of photography for an organization called Art Chennai. And Art Chennai was to bring the city alive with art, festivals, exhibitions. And in that process, we came up with an idea to do an exhibition inside a train station. And this was 2010. Nobody in the country had done an exhibition in a train station at that moment. And it seemed like a great thought, so we did it. And when we did it, what we realized is lakhs of people got to see the exhibition, and suddenly this is a game changer. And so then this idea of public art really was born for me. So I started working in train stations, parks, beaches, and really got excited about this. And so the Biennale loves to work in those kind of spaces, in train stations. We worked in several train stations at the same time. Nageshwara Rao Park, a public park. We worked in beaches, Besanagar Beach. Then we started working in historical buildings, because we realized that the city has a lot of forgotten history that you don't know about. People didn't know about the Senate House until we opened the Senate House. People know about the Government College of Fine Arts, but nobody had been inside. So we opened up the show there. CPB Foundation, the parent organization of the Biennale, is much larger than the Biennale itself. We began with the Biennale, but now, in many ways, the Biennale is one of the things we do. We really have focused since 2018 on education, and education within the school system. So within primary schools, secondary schools, and in India particularly, arts education is sort of the sperm child of education. Arts periods barely exist in government schools. There are no art classes. Materials are less. There are no teachers. So we really felt, how do we fill the void? And of course, photography is beautiful because compared to other forms of art where you need to have some level of inborn talent to draw, to paint, to sculpt, photography is for everyone because everyone can see. And I think that's the beauty of photography, that it's the gateway art form that we can bring children very easily into the fold. It's also fun, it's also engaging, it also has technology, which is exciting for kids. So we've come up with a very robust system of education. It's a curriculum, and we teach that in the government school system in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, in Delhi, in Kashmir, in Madhya Pradesh, all over the country. Our curriculum is traveling. And in Chennai specifically, we teach a photography program in which, with our phones and cameras, we teach within the corporation school system in 12 different schools. And we have what's called our Adopt a School program. In fact, it's much loved by the students because they really get to express themselves, and no idea is too big or small, really. So it's very sweet. And we do all forms of education. We are in colleges. We basically identified that while visual communication is taught, the level of visual storytelling is very, very basic. And so we're trying to focus on that in colleges. We have a Kanava Fellowship, which is for women from Tamil Nadu, which essentially came up as an idea. My two co-founders, Shuchi and Gayatri, are both women photographers. And they realized there's a gender gap in the industry. There's, for every probably 15 male photographers, there might be one. And so how do we address this gender gap? And so the Kanava Fellowship is our way to empower young women who are interested in pursuing careers in photography. So we give them a one-year mentorship, we give them devices, we give them cameras, and we help them enter the field. And so far we're lucky, 14 out of the 15 of our alumni work in the professional field of photography. So I think it's also kudos to the team to really pull off such a robust program.